we are joined by Velasquez, who's the new manager for the Reno Aces, the upcoming 2022 season. Gil, how's it going, man? It's nice to meet you.
Going good. Thanks for having me. Nice to meet you.
Of course. How's the off season been for you? I know this has been for a lot of folks an interesting off season in many ways. There's obviously a labor thing going on right now with Major League Baseball that in some ways doesn't affect the minor leagues. Our season's going to go on, but have you been affected by that at all, or what's your perspective on what's going on and how we fit into things here?
No, I mean, honestly, it hasn't affected us in the minor leagues as much. I think what's affected us more is what continues to happen is the COVID. But for me, my winter was kind of interesting. I got to go manage in winter ball and just got home not too long ago, a few weeks ago. So I've been just focusing with the family these last few weeks.
Awesome. Where were you managing?
In Mexico City, Mexicali.
Okay. How were things down there, and what was that experience like for you?
It was good. It was good. It was a really good experience. Team did well. They were struggling. Team was struggling for a bit. We came in and put some good work in there and turned things around, made playoffs, but didn't go too well for us in playoffs.
Or at least you got to be around some ball this winter. That's always a good thing. I want to get to know you as a manager, but first I want to kind of get you a chance to tell your story as a player. You were drafted in 1998. You're a Southern California guy. Take us inside your journey from when you were drafted by the Mets.
That was back in '98. It was kind of tough for me when I first got into pro ball, just because I had never been away from my family. I had always been everywhere I had gone. I've been with my family. So going from California to Florida was a challenge. But in baseball, you learn to adjust, or if you don't learn to adjust, you weed yourself out. So baseball's always been my passion. I started playing when I was 4, and my whole family played. I was the only fortunate for my family to play professional baseball. So it was kind of a proud moment for the whole family for me to get to play pro ball. Got to play 16 professional seasons in the States and another 2 in Mexico after my career ended in the States. But what got right into coaching right away. I always knew I wanted to be in the game. Originally was with the Dodgers, and then after 2 years, I went with the D-backs and been coordinating for the last 5 years, 6 with this. So I'm excited. I've managed 1 year in minor leagues, managed a few seasons in winter ball, but I'm excited. I'm happy for the opportunity and ready for the challenge.
Yeah, you were with Great Lakes with the Dodgers, and that's when you first started managing. But tell us how you caught on with the Diamondbacks and what your journey's been like with the D-backs the last few years.
Well, I was originally signing back with the Dodgers to manage again, and the D-backs interviewed me for the infield coordinating position, and they hired me on as the infield coordinator. So for the last 5 years, the experience has been great. I think the relationships I've built with the staff, with the players, it's been great for me. It's been a great learning experience, especially getting to travel to all these levels and getting to know all the players and creating these relationships. It's been a blessing for me and my family. Getting to learn how every coach and manager works differently, trying to help them out in whatever areas I can, and them also helping me out, because we all learn from each other. So it's been a great experience. So I've been very blessed.
Is there a coach or a manager that you can identify as someone that's influenced you or really had a central role in your philosophy as a coach and a manager?
Well, I do have friends from other organizations. One guy in particular, his name is Juan Castro. I've always leaned on him. He's a good friend of mine. He was my manager in winter ball when I used to play. And we've got to work together, in the staff, and I've always leaned on him. But there's other people I reach out to. Lorenzo Bundy's another guy that I've always reached out to that's been in the Diamondbacks organization. But within our organization, we always try to help each other out. That's one of the best things about organization. The culture we have is it's about growth and continuing to improve. So we always lean on each other. There's when you know Crony was here, I leaned on him a lot. DC helps me out a lot. So there's always people you can always reach out to in our organization.
Sure. This time of year, you're always wondering what the roster is going to look like. I guess in this instance, it's really a mystery because of what's going on at the major league level. But who are some of the players just at the top of your head we could possibly see that you've worked with so far that you're excited about?
Well, I think everybody's excited about Alec Thomas. But
sure.
there's a few guys. I mean, one of the guys that I've worked with in particular is Perdomo, Geraldo Perdomo.
Mm-hmm.
We still don't know how everything's going to end up with the roster, but chances are he's probably going to be there with us. And I've seen him grow from a 17, 18-year-old to where he's at now to becoming a big leaguer last year. So going from his struggles to his success, and I guess that's what it's about, just helping these guys out as much as you can. That's where we get the gratitude from, is seeing them succeed. But there's some veteran presence from what I've seen. We went and got some guys that are free agent guys, some veteran presence. Matt Davidson's one of them that we signed. He was a former first rounder for us D-backs back in, geez, I can't even remember. It was
a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. But having those guys, that type of presence, those type of veterans on the team, it helps out. I think there's going to be a good balance of some youth and some veterans that always helps out to try and get some wins.
Yeah, I think obviously Alec came to the forefront of my mind when asking you about the players, but Perdomo is an interesting one because we got to see him for a brief time last year before he ended up getting called up. But what specifically about his skill set excites you?
For me, it's just his competitiveness. He's a competitor. He has ability. For anyone to get to the big leagues at his age, you have to have some ability. But his strength is mainly his defense. He's maturing to be a better hitter. He's improving on his weaknesses. But for me, it's his competitiveness. He's always been. He's always had some good drive. He's always set some tough goals for himself, but shoots for the stars. And I think that's the mentality that everybody should have. So that's the kind of stuff that I see that makes him who he is.
Again, we're joined by new Aces manager Gil Velasquez here on the Aces Loaded podcast. I know for me, we're about the same age. I think you're a couple of years older, but for me, it's been an interesting time to be in baseball. I've been in almost 2 decades now. I'm doing what I do. It feels like the game is changing so much. I mean, we talked about the labor issues a little bit, the Hall of Fame stuff, reckoning with what's gone on in the past. And now this year, we're going to see automated balls and strikes at the AAA level in Reno. What's it like for you just to be in baseball right now? Because I know for me, it's a very unique time to be in the game, having been a fan back when I feel like the game was a little bit, or maybe even a lot different than it is now. What's it like for you?
It's been interesting. Honestly, I didn't know that we were gonna have the automated balls and strikes this year in AAA. But I've seen it. I've seen it in the fall league. It's the game's changing, and you have to learn to adjust. If you love the game, you'll adjust. And I think that's the reason why I don't give it too much mind. The passion and love that I have for the game, it's given me everything. So I will adjust with the game. But yes, it's changed. There's different philosophies, different ways of teaching. But at the same time, there's really good stuff about it. I try to take as much positive from everything that comes our way. But you have to be able to assess and know what works, what doesn't. Every player is different, and just the way the game is going now, the mindset of the players are a little different. So you just try to help them out with some of your experiences, and moments that you've gone through, good ones and bad ones.
Sure. I guess in that same vein, I'm going to circle back to your career a little bit. Take us back to the 2008 season. You made your major league debut with the Red Sox. That was a team I grew up in the Boston area, and obviously a lot of diehard Red Sox fans over there. But what was it like for you to finally break through and make your major league debut with Boston?
Oh man, that was probably the best experience I ever got to experience in baseball. I mean, it took me 10 years to get to the major leagues, and you go through moments in your career where you think you're not going to make it. You keep, it's an up and down type of experiences. You have those good moments, you feel like you're right there. You have those bad moments, you feel like it's gotten away from you. But yeah, it was a great experience. I remember it very vividly. As I actually was at home. We drove home, my wife and I, from Rhode Island, and got home. Took us about 3 days to get home to Las Vegas.
You were with Pawtucket, right? Rhode Island.
Yes,
Rhode Island,
yes,
their AAA team. Yep.
correct. Yeah, and my manager Ron Johnson called me. He passed away, so sorry to hear that, but love the man. He called me just to ask me what I was doing. I said, just here with the family. He goes, hey, we need you to go to Instructs. And I was like, Instructs? I'm 28 years old. What am I going to do in Instructs? So he just told me they wanted me to go down there and get ready just in case. So went down there. 3 days later, Mike Hazen calls me in the hotel. I'm actually sleeping, and he calls me and tells me to pack my stuff. So it was a great moment, getting to call your family. Emotions, you can't describe the emotions, and it's proud. It's a proud moment for the whole family, especially my family, that we all grew up playing baseball since we were little, and to be able to accomplish that goal was beautiful.
Yeah, I can relate. There are a lot of people in your life that make a lot of sacrifices for you to get there. Part of the reason I asked you about that is because you did spend a lot of time at AAA, and I guess you acquired in all that time a unique perspective on what a AAA manager should be, and how to relate to players that are at that level, which, as I learned last year, is a very unique level. You have guys ascending, you have guys that are waiting, maybe some guys at the end of their careers. What's important, you think, for a AAA manager to have, and what skill set do you try, or will you try and have when you manage at this level?
Well, I mean, you go through so many different thoughts and emotions in AAA. A lot of it isn't the physical part. It's more the mental and emotional part. You see guys go up, you see guys come down. Some of the guys that come down with a bitterness to them. And from all the years that I played, those guys that came down, it affected me also when I played. You're trying to stay in the moment, trying to perform, you're trying to get to the big leagues. But I think what helped me the most, which it's what I'm going to try to instill to the guys, which they already know, is just to stay focused and try to win a ball game for your team. The more you focus on the team, the easier things are. But you'll see some guys with some different mentalities. You have to have some patience for sure. You can't. You got to hold them accountable, but at the same time, find ways to address them. Everybody has very different personalities, but I'm excited for those challenges. I know some of the biggest challenges are going to be that, especially last year. These guys want to play. They want to play. They want to perform. They want to win. They want to get to the big leagues, help the team in big leagues win. But there's some challenges with last year, the roster expanding, the playing time, it becomes challenging. So a lot of it, I think, as managers, from all the managers I had, a lot of them were like counselors. They spoke to the guys and tried to get them to see the whole picture. And I think the best thing you can do is just be honest with them and be as transparent with them as much as possible. So, I can definitely relate through everything they'll be going through. But I'm gonna do my best to help them out with all those experiences and emotions that they're going to be going through, and help them stay focused on in the moment.
I think that's perfectly said. Last one for you. So you're coming to Reno as a manager. I know you played in the PCL. How much time have you spent in Reno, and maybe give us some of your memories of being in Reno that come to the forefront of your mind?
Well, I didn't get to play in the PCL as much as I did in the IL. I think I played 3 seasons in PCL. So the most playing time I got to experience in Reno was when I was with Salt Lake. We made more trips there. When I was with New Orleans, I think it was once a year that we would go to Reno. But I always loved Reno. We all know it's a hitter's ballpark, and I was a hitter, so my best offensive years were in the PCL. So Reno always treated me good, and I always came happy to Reno and left happy to Reno. And I'm hoping as a manager, that's how it'll be also. Our guys will be happy, and we'll end up as a happy team at the end of the season. But I always loved Reno. Reno for me was one of the best ballparks. The city, I enjoyed the city. I'm from Vegas. Honestly, the last few years, as a coordinator, I hadn't made the trips to Reno because the team comes to Vegas. I live here in Vegas, so when the team made the trip to Las Vegas, that's when I would see the guys and catch up with them. Last year, I did go when Blake went to the Futures All-Star game. So I went to help out for those games. So that was the last time I've been to Reno.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to having you, Gil. Congratulations on the assignment, and we'll see you in a couple of months, man.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks, Zach.
You got it.